And we will welcome everyone to another amazing presentation by Pamela. Pamela Starr is here and she will be talking today about getting your local business on Google search and maps in time for the holiday season. Yes, indeed. All right. Like to tell you just a little bit about SCORE, if you don't mind putting up with this for a moment. SCORE is a nationwide organization that is a partner of the Small Business Administration. And we provide free confidential business mentoring. There's never a charge for it. We're all volunteers. Our chapter has nearly 90 volunteers waiting to help you with a variety of backgrounds. So whatever your business problem or question or concern is, we've got somebody that can help you. And our chapter was recently recognized as a chapter of the year. And I hope we do again for next year. Since its founding, SCORE has assisted over 11 million clients. So in what part of your business can we help you? Well, sometimes I think people wake up in the morning and apply for a SCORE volunteer based on the dream they had. And so they think that maybe it's a business, and we're here to help you determine, is that a business? Is that something we can do? Or you've opened it and now what? Now people aren't necessarily coming to your door. So what can we do to help or grow your business? Or lastly, we actually have a group that's dedicated to helping you sell or close a business. And of course, on the other side of that, if you're thinking about buying a business, contact us, because these folks can help you get the best deal for your money. I would encourage you to go to our website, which is minnesota.score.org, even if you're not in the area. If you're not in the area, you might think about going to just score.org. Not the Minnesota part. There you can request a mentor. They'll find someone in your local area. You can find other workshops or webinar events. You can locate podcasts that are recorded or look in our libraries for resources. We've got all kinds of templates and wonderful documents to help you. So lastly, I'd like to say thank you to our sponsors and community partners. The sponsors, you'll notice that many of them are banks. If you come into one of these banks and they know that you are a client of a SCORE mentor, chances are great that they'll listen to you a little bit better than they might if you just walked in with your hands hanging, because they know that we've grilled you. They know that we have talked you through some of the important things. So without further ado, I am going to turn this over to Pamela, who is going to talk to you about Google My Business. Take it away, Pamela.
All right. Well, thank you, Diane, for turning everything back over to me. I just want to let everybody know who I am and why I am here. My name is Pamela Starr, and I have the greatest gig in the whole wide world. I'm a professional trainer for Grow with Google. That's the division of Google that provides all kinds of free education to people just like you. All of the Google presentations that I do are all hosted by a nonprofit organization that is a Grow with Google partner. And today's presentation, obviously, is hosted by SCORE Minnesota in Florida. SCORE is a nationwide organization that provides all kinds of great resources for you. It is run almost exclusively by volunteers, and those volunteers have got a tremendous amount of experience. I am not a SCORE volunteer, but I have partnered with SCORE since 2010. So I am a huge champion of SCORE. And actually in today's presentation, I will make a couple of times where I'll suggest you might want to talk to a SCORE mentor about that. Now, just a little bit of thing. For those of you that are watching today's webinar live on Zoom, if you have questions for me, please put the questions in the Q&A in Zoom, not in chat. Just so you know, I've got 2 monitors going, lots of windows going. There's only so many places I can keep my eyeballs. I do look at the Q&A. I don't look at the chat, and I would be delighted to answer any of your questions for today's webinar, which is actually one of the benefits of attending any of my webinars live, is I'm here to answer your questions. I will send, well, actually, Diane, this is new information for everybody. Google made a dramatic change yesterday to the Google business profile. And so I spent a good part of yesterday evening and this morning updating my slides. So Diane, I was really ahead of myself on Monday, and I believe I sent you my slides already. I will send you the updated version of my slides.
And we will distribute that, right, along with the video.
Yep. So everybody who is watching today's presentation live, you will get a copy of my slides as well as a copy of the recording of today's presentation, and you will get that from SCORE. So I just kind of wanted to let you all know that. So today we're here to talk about the business profile. Some of you may think of this tool as Google My Business. News flashed, Google rebranded this tool within the last year or so. It might have even been last year. So Google My Business no longer exists. It's officially called your business profile on Google Search and Maps, but we just friendly call it the Google Business Profile. So I'm going to start with telling you what is this tool. Then I'm going to talk about how you can create it for the very first time if you have never done this. And some of you may have created a business profile in the past, but somehow kind of lost track of it. So I will show you how you can find it again, if that's the case. But then I'm going to spend the majority of our time here together talking to you about how you can manage this tool. And as I said yesterday afternoon, I was notified that Google had made a bunch of changes, and I looked at my business profile and I was like, yes, they did. So you all are getting the newest information, probably before anybody else in the country is getting this information. So I'm excited to share the newest updates with you. Google does like to update its tools periodically. Just so you know, Google doesn't do that to annoy us. Google does that to try and make the tools as beneficial as possible to the biggest group of people. That's why Google is constantly updating the tools. Now, at the end of today's presentation, I am going to share with you some more free resources. I only have an hour with you here today, and I know that you may have more questions after today's webinar is over. So I want to be sure that you can know where you can go to get more free training about Google, in addition to the free training that SCORE has to offer to you about a whole wide range of topics. So that's what we're going to be doing here today. Let's start off talking about what is a Google business profile. All right, Shelly, you get the digital prize for being the first person. I don't have a real prize. I should come up with a real prize. Shelly is the first person to type a question into the Q&A. Shelly, I will get into your question here shortly. So just hang tight. So what is this business profile? It is a 100% free resource that is available to most businesses who typically see their customers face to face. So Shelly's question is, if you're an online seller based in a state, but do not have a physical location where you meet customers, should you not claim your business profile? So if you are willing to meet people in your local community, even if you also do business with people in other areas, having a business profile may work for you. If you are truly an online only business and you never want to see those pesky customers face to face because you've got better things to do, like manage your business, then the business profile is not going to be the right tool for you. Occasionally I talk to people and their business is an Amazon store or an Etsy store, in which case then the business profile is not right. But if you are what we call a service provider, even if you are home-based and you meet people in your local community face-to-face, you absolutely can still have a business profile and hide your home address. So I get a lot of questions about that. So I just wanted to be sure everybody kind of sort of understood that. Okay, and I see we've got a question about reviews already. I'm going to get into the reviews a little bit later on in the presentation. So just sit tight and we will get there. The business profile helps you show up on Google Search and Maps. Google Maps is one of the most popular tools out there, and people are looking for businesses like yours. When people look at your business profile on their itty-bitty smartphone, there is some basic information there about all business profiles. There'll be the name of your business, a description that you write, photos and videos that you upload, and yes, your clients can upload them as well. There will be your location if you have said that you welcome people to come visit you at your location. Great example of that would be somebody who is perhaps a restaurant or a retail store. Your location will show up. And what's nice about that is your ideal future customer can be sitting in their location and they can get turn-by-turn directions that show them how to get from where they are to where your business is. Again, for those of you, like Linda just typed into the Q&A, if you are home-based, you absolutely can hide your home address and just tell people that you work in this particular city. And so I will get into that information in just a couple of minutes. So it's important to understand your business profile is not a set it and forget it tool. This is something that you want to keep up to date. And here's why. Up-to-date business profiles are 2.7 times more likely to be considered reputable. So let's think about that. Why would that be? Let's say you go to a business's Facebook page and they haven't updated anything since Happy 4th of July. And you're thinking, are these people even paying attention? Are they even awake? Are they even still in business? It's the same thing with your business profile. You do want to keep that up to date. And I will tell you today a couple of different ways that you can be sure that you're always keeping your profile fresh. What's even more powerful is up-to-date business profiles are 70% more likely to attract location visits, if that's their intention, and 50% more likely to lead to a purchase. So if having 50% more business doesn't give you enough motivation to keep your business profile up to date, I'm not sure if you ought to be in business or not. So be sure that you are keeping your business profile up to date because it absolutely can help your business grow. The business profile helps you look great on all devices, no matter what tool people are using to look for you. That would be their computer, their desktop, or laptop, their smart TV, their tablet, and yes, absolutely their itty-bitty smartphone. So how do you get started? This is one of the things that Google made a big change to earlier this year. In the past, I would tell you that there was an icon in your Google account that you would click into to get into the back end of the dashboard. Google has changed that, and I'll talk about some of the changes in just a moment or two. But to get started for the very first time, you would simply go to google.com/business. Now, Google may have recognized that your business exists. And if that's the case, there may be kind of a framework of a business profile. Underneath that, there will be a little link that says, own this business, claim it now. You can click on that, and then you'll need to go through a process to be sure that, yes, you legitimately do own that business. Also, if you had set up a business profile in the past, and for whatever reason you don't know how to find it again, this is exactly one of the ways that you can do that. So let's talk about how you can create this business profile. One thing is really, really important to understand. You need to know what Google account you are in when you set up your Google business profile. And that's the same Google account you always need to be in whenever you want to manage your profile. So, what is a Google account? At its most basic, if you have a Gmail email address, you have a Google account. If you have a Google Workspace email address, which used to be called G Suite, which gives you a custom email address to make you look a little bit more professional, you also have a Google account. Now, here's where things get tricky. If you're like me and you have multiple Gmail email addresses, maybe use one for work, one for personal, one for some other reason, that means you have multiple Google accounts. You can always go to Gmail, look in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and there'll be a little circle with typically your initial in there, and that will let you know what Google account you are in. So whatever Google account you are in when you set up your business profile, that's the Google account you always need to be in anytime you want to update it. Now, if you don't have a Gmail email address, and the last thing you want is another email address, you can register a different type of email address as a Google account. And you would do that at accounts.google.com. So you don't need a Gmail address if you don't want one. Now, when you want to manage your business profile, again, I mentioned before, you can always go to google.com/business. That's one way to kind of get into the back end of it. But I'm going to show you a simpler way here in just a minute. If you're setting up your business profile for the first time, what you would do is start typing the name of your business as you want it to appear on Google. Now, I know some of you may have a formal name of your business. Maybe you have an LLC, or you are a partnership or something like that, but you're doing business as something a little bit more friendly. You want to put the doing business as name here, not the name that the IRS needs. You want the name that your customers need. After that, then you'll be asked to choose a category for your business. Now, you cannot create your own category. You need to use one of the categories that Google has predefined. Now, some people have told me that they get frustrated by that, especially if they're in a very, very specific niche or niche. You just need to choose a category that's broad enough to include the specific thing that you do. There are a lot of other places on the business profile where you can tell people exactly what you do. So that way you're sure that you're attracting the right customer base. The next question Google asks you is super important, especially for those of you who are home-based. Google will ask you, do you have a location customers can visit? If you are a public business like a restaurant or a retail store and you welcome people to show up unannounced, you would say yes. And that's where you would put in your street address so people would know how to use Google Maps to show up unannounced at your business address. Now, if you are home-based, or even if you're the type of business where there may be nobody there, or for whatever reason, you do have a business location, but it's just not appropriate for customers to show up. Maybe you are a home remodeling contractor and you have a business where your subcontractors kind of congregate and you keep your supplies there, but it's not the place you'd want a customer to show up. You would say no here. Now, if you said yes, you would need to put in your official street address. You cannot use a PO box here because your business does not operate at the post office. You also cannot use one of those for-profits mailbox places that's in the strip mall next to the grocery store, because unless you own that franchise, your business does not operate there. So be sure that you're really clear about not putting an address out there that people are going to show up at looking for you and you're not available to help them, because that will just frustrate them. Now, if you did put in your street address, you will be asked, do you also have a service area? If you have previously said, no, I do not have a location customers can visit, Google will now put you right into the area where you say what your service area is. So let's say you're perhaps a plumbing supply store and you have a brick and mortar business. You would have put in your street address so customers could come to you. But if you also offer plumbing services and you go to them, that's when you would say that you have that street address and you also have a service area. All right, Nico asked a question. I sell custom wood projects online, but do craft fairs from time to time. Can I change my Google business location to craft fairs whenever I want? Nico, the answer is no. You can only use an address that is your permanent business address. So Nico, what you would need to do is use your home address as your business address. You would hide it when that previous slide where I said, enter the address, actually the previous slide where I said, it will ask you, do you have a location customers can visit? You would say no there. And then Nico, there are other places, and I'll show you in a couple of minutes where you can let people know at a particular craft fair that you're going to be going to at some points in the future. Now, after that, regardless of the address, you would put in your other most important business contact information, typically your telephone number and your website. That's pretty basic stuff. Now, when you're just setting this up, you do need to go through a process where Google needs to verify your business profile. What will happen is typically Google will mail to you what Google calls a postcard. Now, I live in Florida, like many of you do. And when I think of a postcard, I think of a kind of 4x6 rigid cardboard thing that's shiny on one side and has, pictures of palm trees on it. That is not what Google mails you. If you have previously put in that you have a location that customer can visit, Google will send to you via the US Postal Service this piece of mail. If you did not previously say that you had a location that customers can visit, at this point, you will need to give Google your home address. It will not show up on Google Maps, but Google will only mail this piece of mail to your legitimate address where the business legitimately happens, which, as in Nico's case, is most likely the home address. Now, what they actually send you is one of those mailers that you get from your bank or your credit card company that you have to kind of like peel open, and there's a secret code inside. That's what Google will mail you. Be sure you tell every living human being who could potentially get the mail wherever your address is, you are expecting this really important piece of mail from Google. Because seriously, when does Google ever mail us anything? Like never. So it's easy to mistake it for junk mail. So just be sure everybody knows that you're waiting for this really important piece of mail. And Google says it takes about 5 days. Let's be real, give it a couple of weeks and it should show up at whatever address you ask Google to send it to. While you're waiting to verify your business profile, there are a couple of things that you can do to kind of get it ready for prime time. I'm going to fly through these next couple of slides really quickly because in a moment, I'm going to get a little bit deeper into that. You can add your services if you are a service type business. You can add your business hours. You can turn on messaging so people can send you what feels like a text message, even though it's not technically one. You can write a description about your business. Nico, that is one of the first places that you can update on a regular basis. Let people know this week, I'm going to be at the Sarasota Craft Fair, booth number 47 or whatever that is. Just be sure that you take it down. And then, next time you're going to be at another craft fair, you can update your description there as well. That's one of the places. There's another place where you can let people know where you're going to be also. You can add photos, and I'll talk about photos again a little bit more. You can also connect to Google Ads. I am not talking about Google Ads here today at all. Just know you can access ads from within your Google profile if that might be interesting for your business. And then when you do get that business profile, you would need to go back, when you get that postcard, you need to go back into your business profile, enter the secret code, and then you'll be ready for prime time. So let's talk about how you can actually manage all of this information on Google. And I'm going to pause because I see a couple of people have put in questions that are kind of relevant to what I've already talked about. All right, Jamie says, do I have any recommendations for actually speaking to an actual person at Google? Jamie has a couple of questions with their account. Google does not provide telephone support for any of their free tools, and this is a free tool. However, what I will do, since Jamie just asked this question right now, is I've got a little cheat sheet for myself, and I can put in the chat here. Hang on, let me find it. My cheat sheet keeps getting bigger and bigger. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat. There's a link to where you can get support. And also, some people have told me that they have good success connecting with the Google Business Profile team on social media. So in the chat for the Zoom, I put in the links for both of those. Contact support at support.google.com/business/get-help. And then their social media icon handles, I believe Twitter is at Google My Biz and Facebook is at Google Business Profile. All right, so I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, Jamie asked a question here, and Jamie, I'll go ahead and answer this question also. Jamie says, have you had any success changing the account you log into your Google Business Profile account with? I set it up with the wrong account and I can't seem to change it. Jamie, you don't want to change it. What you want to do is, and this gets a little tricky here because I'm talking about you being in two different places at the same time. Whatever account you were in when you set it up, go into that account. You can set your alter ego up as a user. So that way, then the account that you want to use it for on a regular basis, that account can't manage your business profile. So Jamie, that's how you would need to go ahead and update that information. Michelle says, can you request a new postcard? You can, Michelle, go into the link that I put in the chat and you can request it through that particular link. All right, so how do you manage all this information? So this is the brand new, as of yesterday, hot off the press way to do this. A couple of months ago, Google did announce that the way that you can manage your business profile is directly from Google search. So assuming you are in the Google account you used to set up your business profile, you can just go to google.com, type in the name of your business, and then you'll be able to manage your business profile directly from the search results page. Until yesterday, there were just kind of 3 different little icons. You kind of had to hunt and peck to find the information that you really wanted to update. The screen that I have on my presentation right now is up to date as of yesterday afternoon, and they have done a fantastic job making it so much easier to find the elements that you want to update on your business profile. And I'm going to go through each one of these elements in the next half hour for the remainder of today's presentation. So the element that's got probably the most information is the element called Edit Profile. And so when you go to the Edit Profile, that's where you can update the name of your business. You can add multiple categories for your business. This is where you can update the description of your business, and you can add the opening date. Now, I want to pause here because this is where you can update the name of your business. I suggest you be very, very careful about changing the name of your business. If you're making a very small change to your name, maybe I have Star and Daughters, and I used to spell out A-N-D, but now I only want to use the ampersand. It's basically the same name of the business. It's just kind of typing it a little bit differently. But if I want to change my name a little bit more dramatically, Google will temporarily suspend your business profile and ask you to re-verify it. So if I went from Star in Daughters to Pamela's Pet Shop, even if it's still basically the same business, those names are significantly different. So I just wanted to let you all know that because people have told me that they've been surprised and frustrated that all of a sudden they tried to change the name of their business and their profile was suspended. The next thing that you can update in the Edit Profile area is your contact information. When you set up your business profile, you type in typically 1 telephone number. You can actually have up to 3 phone numbers here. Now, for most of you, you probably don't need that. But a great example would be something like an auto dealership. There might be 1 number for sales, 1 number for service, and 1 number for parts. So depending on how your business operates, you might have multiple phone numbers and you can put them here. You can put your website here if you have not done that already. This is the other place that you can get what Google refers to as a short name. So sometimes people have told me that they have been frustrated because they wanted to send their business profile to some other person online, and there wasn't a good way to do that. There is now. Now you can create a short name for your business profile, and you can send that to people so that way they can see your entire business profile. So that's something which is reasonably new.
And that looks like it's no spaces. Is that true?
You know, that's a great question, Diane. I'm not 100% certain, but my guess is it probably is no spaces. Mm-hmm. And if you have a space in there, if you can't put in a space, they will undoubtedly let you know. So, but that's a good observation. All right, I'm going to pause here for just a second. Just look and see if there's, okay, hang on. There's a couple of these things I'm going to get to in a couple of minutes. So if I haven't answered your question, that is why, because I'm going to be talking about it in a few minutes. Joy asked a question, how do I change the old email address? Joy, your customers will not see your email address. So if what you're talking about is the email address that you use to access your business profile, you would do what I mentioned just a couple of minutes ago. There's a place where you can set up users on your business profile. you would set up the new email address as a user. Then you'll be able to manage your business profile from the new email address. So, but customers will not see your email address. Just kind of want to pause here for a second. Linda says, how is the short name intended to be used? Simply, a lot of times people will say, I want to put something on social media to let people know about my business profile, or I want to email it to my customers so they can enjoy my business profile. That's what the short name would be used for. Giselle says, how do I create a short name? Giselle, you would do it in the edit profile area of the business profile itself. And that's what I'm showing you here right now. Let's kind of pause here. Shelly asks, can you set up a business profile without the phone number? You can. You just need to have either a phone number or a website. If you don't have a phone number or a website, you're not ready for a business profile yet. You can, and Shelly, yes, you can hide the physical address once you edit the listing. Absolutely. I'm just kind of pausing here to see if there's any other questions that are kind of for the good to go here. Okay, Rick is saying he doesn't see a place to edit the short name. Edit it, Rick, it should be, if you go to google.com and search for your business, if you get to the place where you are seeing this area, it's in the edit profile little icon. Having said that, it's possible, Rick, that you may not yet have access to the new experience, simply because Google sometimes does kind of roll things out over the course of time. So if that's the case, you may just not have access to that. All right, so let me keep going here. You guys are doing a great job to ask a lot of questions. I do want to be sure I get through the content. And so I'm going to probably hold questions until the end now. Now, the location, a couple of you have asked about that already. This is where you can update your location if your business has changed. Now, if you change your address from this street address to that street address, your business profile will be suspended until you re-verify your business at the new address. And that's simply because Google wants to be sure that the new address is legitimately where your business profile is. This is also where, if in the past you set up an address and then you realized, oh, wait, I don't want that showing up on Google Maps because it's my home, or that's just an address that, sure, my business operates there, but half the time nobody's there. I don't want strangers showing up and the door is locked. This is where you can go ahead and delete that address. This is where you can also add your service area. And that's where you can let people know, we service people in, the major Sarasota area, or we service people in Manatee County, or we service people in the entire state of Florida. So that's where you would set up your service area. Hours. So hours are something a couple of people have asked about here as well. Hours also are in that manage info section. And you've got a lot of flexibility with your hours. If your business has its kind of like standard hours, week in, week out, these are our normal operating hours, you can put those just in the hours area. There is also another option where you can add holiday hours. And a great example of that is, Thanksgiving is just practically a month away. If many businesses are closed on Thanksgiving, many businesses are closed the day after Thanksgiving, but normally they're open on any normal Thursday and Friday. If you have different hours for the holidays, you can designate that in the holiday hours. Be sure you do that, because even if you're going to be open on Thanksgiving, maybe you are a medical center or someplace, and so it's appropriate for you to be open on Thanksgiving. Customers, if they're looking at you online, if you don't proactively say, I'm going to be open on Thanksgiving, customers will see a message that says, this business might not be open today because it's a holiday. So you do want to be sure that you're paying attention to holiday hours. There is also a third category of hours called more hours. And those are things that kind of came out as a result of COVID. Remember how way back when, 2.5 years ago, grocery stores opened an hour early for seniors or for other people that needed to shop in a theoretically less crowded shopping environment. That's what more hours are. Sometimes restaurants are open these hours for lunch, and then they're closed for a couple of hours, and then they reopen again for dinner. All of that can be managed in the more hours section. Other things that are available in the more section here of the business area is there are things called attributes. And depending on what business category you chose, you may have the option of highlighting different aspects of your business that may make your business a little bit more unique. Great examples of that would be, let's say you are a retail gift store, and that's your category. Some gift stores offer gift wrapping. So you can tell people if yes, you offer gift wrapping or not. Now, if your business category is a plumber, plumbers as a general rule typically don't offer gift wrapping. So they may not be even offered the opportunity to say, I offer gift wrapping, but they may have the opportunity to say, we have 24-hour emergency service or something along those lines. Crowd lets you identify if your business is LGBTQ plus friendly. That's important to a lot of people. Planning is an area, and this is something which is pretty new also. If your business is by appointment only, and I get people ask me that question all the time. If your business is by appointment only, how do you let people know that? You do that in the business information in the planning area. And then that's where you can link it to whatever tool you use to book your appointments. So that's something that's going to be really meaningful, probably for some of you. Now, when it comes to the information that's kind of like from the business, as I said, these are things that distinguishes your business and makes it feel a little bit more unique from some other businesses in your general category. There are things called attributes. And this is where you can let people know if your business identifies as Asian owned, Black owned, Latino owned, LGBTQ plus owned, veteran owned, and or woman owned. And yes, if all 6 of those apply to you, you absolutely can say yes to all of them. If only 2 apply, great. If only 1 applies, great. If none of them apply, that's perfectly okay too. But what's nice about these badges is when people look at your business profile on their itty-bitty smartphone, they will see these colorful badges. One of the, I think, kind of silver linings that we've had here since COVID, people really understand that small businesses really kind of have a hard time. It's tough to run a small business. There was, kind of pre-COVID, people sometimes didn't want to admit they were a small business. They wanted to look like a big business. But now people in your local community really want to support small businesses. And even if they don't personally identify with any of those 6 groups of people, they may still say, do you know what? I want to go ahead and give this business a little bit of love. I want to give them a try because, for whatever reason, they're proud of their identity and I want to go ahead and give them a try. So go ahead and be sure that you're turning on any or all of those that apply to your business. Now, there are more things to do. Now, all that stuff that I just showed you is in the edit profile icon that you'll see when you go to google.com and search for your own business. What I'm going to get into next are some of these other features that you also can manage on your business profile. Next thing that I'm going to talk about are reviews. You can go directly into the reviews area to read and respond to reviews that people have written about you on Google. So let's talk about reviews because those are always a hot topic of conversation. First of all, in the read reviews section, and this is new, well, where you can access it is new. This feature was available before. But if you go to that read reviews icon, there's a place there where you can get a link to exactly your reviews area. And you can email that link out to your loyal, happy customers and ask them to write an honest review. So that's a great strategy in order to help build reviews. Now, when it comes to the reviews that people write on your business profile, on occasion, somebody might write a review that you don't like. And trust me, I have heard all the backstories about the court documentation and the person's in jail and blah, 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 blah. If somebody writes a review about you that violates Google's terms and conditions, you can flag that review and ask Google to review it. And if they can verify that it does violate Google's terms and conditions, they absolutely will take down that review. Just because somebody wrote a nasty review about you and there's some backstory, but it legitimately is about your business, Google will not take it down. So what do you do about that? You do want to respond to every review. Keep in mind, total complete random strangers, your ideal future customers, are going to see those reviews, including the bad ones. They are also going to see your response to the reviews. You need to write a response that is intended not for the person that wrote the review, but it's intended for all those strangers. So you want to take the high road when it comes to responding to negative reviews. Don't give people the backstory. Strangers don't care. You want to look like a professional. Somebody's going to look like a jerk in that interchange. Let the person that wrote that nasty review, let them look like a jerk. You want to look like a professional. Now, when it comes to your positive reviews, which is a much more fun topic of conversation, be sure that you respond to those also. A lot of times I'll see business profiles, they might have 30 positive reviews that they have never answered. Don't let strangers think that you're not paying attention. So all you need to do is simply thank people for the nice review. We love working with people like you. That's all you need to do. That person who wrote the review, they'll feel special because you acknowledged them. But all those future customers will say, hey, that business really cares about their customers. Maybe I'll give them a try. So be sure that you do that. The next option that you have of connecting with people is through messaging. Messaging is something that defaults to being off in your business profile, but you can turn this on. When you turn on messaging, if people look at your business profile on their itty-bitty smartphone, they can click on a little button and send to you what feels like a text message, although it's not technically a text message. You don't need to share your cell phone number. The communication lives within the business profile tool itself. And the simplest example is just like you're used to sending direct messages to people in social media accounts, Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is, it works pretty much exactly the same way. So that's something that is important to know. Sometimes your customer may have a question for you, but for whatever reason, it's not appropriate for them to call you. Maybe their boss is right next to them, or maybe they have a question about something they want to buy as a gift for a family member and their family is always around. So they might want to send you a quick little message and then you can reply back to them. The next little icon that is available to you is the icon to add photos. It's really important that you put a lot of your own pictures on your business profile. 90% of customers are more likely to visit a business that's got photos that they can find online. And that's because of social media. We're used to seeing what's going on kind of behind the scenes of your business. And that's exactly what photos do. You can add just general photos that show a variety of different aspects of your business. You can add a photo that would be your logo, and you can add a photo that should be your cover photo that shows up on your business profile. Having said that, people have told me that they've had a lot of problems designating something as a cover photo, and it doesn't always show up as a cover photo. Hopefully Google is working on that, but I just kind of wanted to acknowledge that. But the add photo area is where you can put your own photos on your business profile. The next little area that you can update information in is called edit products. And if you have physical products like this ballpoint pen, this is where you can put pictures of your products, links to where people can buy the products on your business profile. You cannot put digital products like an ebook here. And you cannot put something like, if you're a real estate professional, this is a house I have listed for sale. In those cases, you would add services, which is the next section here. Services is where you can let people know the different services that you can provide to them. You can absolutely create your own service here. Depending on the business category that you chose, Google may offer you services that businesses in your category tend to offer. So you've got a lot of flexibility with services, whereas products can only be truly physical products. Bookings are another little icon that you'll see when you go to your business profile on Google search. If you use some type of third-party booking software, you can link that to your business profile. So there's a difference between booking software and appointments. And I just want to be sure everybody understands. Booking software tends to be used by businesses like hair salons or massage professionals or yoga studios, places where they've got different services that take different amounts of time, or maybe there are different professionals that you can request. So if I want to get a haircut, which is a short service, and I want Alex to do my haircut, if you are a hair salon, you probably have some type of booking software that gives you that kind of flexibility. And those are tools like Mindbody or Bookie, Booker or Booksy. Chances are you know what those are. If you need one, you know what those are. Appointments that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, those are different. Those would be something like if you offer a free 15-minute consultation and you use a tool like Calendly, or maybe you have even a place on your website where people can book that, one single kind of a type of appointment. That would be in the appointment area that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. So I just wanted to be sure I clarified the difference between appointments and bookings. The next thing that you have the opportunity to do is add an update. And this is more or less like a post that you would do on social media, except the updates on Google, they do need to be professional. Social media is the great place to be kind of fun and loosey-goosey and flirty with people. Let people know all the fun stuff that's going on at your business. On your business profile, because strangers are going to see this, you do want to be a little bit more professional. Sure, you can be fun, but there are a couple of different posts that you can do. You can do an update post to let people know what's going on in your business right now. You can do a special offer. This product is on sale for 50% off. Or you can let people know about an event, and it can be an in-person or an online event. So that's another thing that you can do through the updates icon that you will find when you look for your Google business profile on Google search. And this is the same screenshot I showed you a couple of times now about where these different icons can be found. There are actually a couple of more tools that I'm not going to take a deeper dive into right now. There is a performance tool, and I know somebody already asked me about reports. I'm just looking to see if I can't find that off right now real quick. Reports will be in the performance area. That will let you know how many people called your business through your business profile, how many people got those turn-by-turn directions to visit your business profile, and a lot of other things. There is also an opportunity to open up Q&A. So customers, rather than messaging you something, they can post a question about your business. You can reply to the question, but so can other people too. So you definitely want to keep an eye on Q&A. And then also this is another place where if you want to advertise, you can do Google advertising straight through your business profile here. And as I mentioned before, today's presentation is not about advertising, so I'm not going to get deep into that at all. Just want to let you know that this is another place where you can access advertising if you want it. So I'm keeping my eye on the clock, and I'm going to do my best to respect everybody's time and wind up right at the top of the hour. What do you do first or next? Definitely be sure that you know how to claim your business profile, that if you had one in the past, you know where it is now. If you have never set one up before, go ahead and visit google.com/business and go through the process of setting it up. On an ongoing basis, you want to make it a habit of reviewing and updating your business information. Be sure your last post wasn't something about back to school, because back to school is come and gone. So be sure that that information is up to date, so customers know you're on the ball, you're paying attention. Be sure your business information is up to date and accurate. You want to be sure you're uploading photos and videos. And then when you're ready, you can look at those reports that give you a little bit more data about how people interact with your business profile. Now, I want to share with you some of the free resources Google has for you for when you want to get a little bit more out of your business profile. The first thing that I have to offer to you is not for everybody. It does not work for everybody. But if you have a brick and mortar business, like a restaurant or a retail store, you can typically download what Google calls a marketing kit. There are two versions of this. You can find the general audience version at g.co/marketing g.co/marketing kit. And then there's actually another version for Black-owned businesses. You can find that at g.co/marketing kit Black-owned. And what that does is it kind of pulls information from your business profile, your highlights, your reviews, your hours, that types of things, and kind of organizes it in print-ready artwork that you can download to your computer and take to a local print shop. And those are things like posters or table tents, the types of things that you typically would find if you walked into a business. That's why these are things, last time I checked, this was not available for service type businesses, but you might want to check and see if it's available to you. If you go to one of those websites and you get a message that says, set up your business profile, and you know you already have one, that just simply means that you're not eligible for this particular marketing kit. So I also want to let you know that there's a lot more places where you can get more information. The Grow with Google team has got a great YouTube channel, and you can find that at youtube.com/growwithgoogle. There's a ton of great, quick and easy to understand videos on there. Take a couple of minutes, just kind of explore that, poke around, see what information is available to you. And then when you've got a little bit more time, then you can take a deeper dive into some of that information. Now, the next resource that I have is from me to all of you. And that's because people ask me all the time, hey, Pamela, where can I get? Where can I get free photos I can put on my business profile? Where can I get photos I can put on my website? Where can I get music to put on my YouTube channel? What can I use to edit my videos? And so I ended up putting all of free resources in one email. I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the chat. Hang on just a second. Let me go back to my cheat sheet here. I'm putting a link in the chat right now. If you are interested in getting this email from me that's got this list of free resources, click on the link in the chat and you can go ahead and request to get this list of free resources. Or you can go to my website, which is Pamela Starr Online, or you can scan the QR code that's on the screen in front of you. Those are not Google resources. They're not my resources. It's just a list of resources that I've gathered over the years for my own personal use. So I decided I might as well share it with you guys because you probably would like this information too. Finally, if you can't remember anything I have told you today, or if you've attended any of my webinars in the past or plan to in the future, the one thing I do want you to remember is Grow with Google. On the website, which is google.com/grow, you can navigate to just about anything else that's out there that Google has when it comes to training for small businesses. So that is definitely the one thing I definitely want you to remember. All right, so I'm going to kind of go through some of these questions here really quickly. I see Linda says, will you be notified if somebody writes you a review? Absolutely, Linda. You will get an email to the email address that you have set up for your profile. Also, if you have the Google Maps icon on your phone, you will get an alert on that icon. All right, an anonymous attendee says, a few of my legitimate reviews are missing. I worked really hard and long to earn those. That would be one of those situations where you probably want to go ahead and chat, or not chats, if you want to reach out to the Google Business Profile team. And I will put that in the chat for you as well to find out what's going on. I hear that on occasion, that sometimes they kind of fade away, and I'm not sure why that happens. But if you can connect with the Google Business Profile team, either through their support or through social media, they ought to be able to help you out.
If you scroll up to the top, Pamela, Usha has put a question in a while ago. And
right, similar question here. Okay, client left a Google review with 5 stars. Google removed the review. After five emails, I finally spoke to a human being. Yay, that's great. And it said it was automatically removed due to Google's policy. It was a positive review. Don't know if Google is going to remove views without notifying business owners. Is very frustrating. That definitely is frustrating. You do need to understand what Google's policy is. I don't know, I can't, unfortunately, I don't have access to make any of those decisions. What I would say is it would have been amazing if when you were talking to that person, if you could say, well, what is the policy? Was it something specific that flagged this? There are certain types of businesses that sometimes can be a little bit tricky. And while the business can absolutely have a business profile, sometimes some of the products, if somebody mentions a particular product that Google won't allow in a business profile, that potentially could be one of the reasons for a review. All right, Linda says, do I have any suggestions for writing a good description? Absolutely. Let people know what's unique about your business. What makes you a better Italian restaurant than every other Italian restaurant in town? Or what makes you a better tax preparer than every other tax preparer in town? Also, if you do work with a specific niche, maybe you are a tax preparer who likes to work with first-time homeowners, that would be the type of information to put in your description as well. Let's see here. Okay, somebody says, how can you expand your business area globally? You can't. And that's because this tool is designed to help you be found by people in your local community primarily. So somebody in another country, chances are good, they're not going to drive to your business location if you have a brick and mortar business. And chances are good, even if you're a service business like a plumber, they're probably not going to use your service. They're going to use somebody that's closer to them. And so this is not the right tool to promote your business globally. If you want to promote your business globally, that's where you really want to focus on your website. And you can also do advertising if you want to focus on your business globally also. All right, Jamie says, will hiding the business address prevent you from being shown in search results for people searching for you locally? No, it will not prevent you from that. If people are looking for shoe repair near me or shoe repair in Tampa, even if somebody was a shoe repair business that was home-based, their shoe repair profile would still show up. There just would be no physical address there. Let's see. Rick says, I have open with no main hours, but when I'm, hang on a second. Okay, Rick is saying that the business is open with no main hours, but when Rick finds the business listing in an incognito window, there's a button to add business hours. Rick, what that's all about is Google does give customers the opportunity to fill in information like that, which can be a little bit frustrating, but that's just basically the way that Google runs things, unfortunately. All right. Let's see what else. Shelly says, saving this question for the end about the verification process, is there a way to avoid the verification video to verify your account? I'm not sure what verification video you're referring to, Shelly. Typically, they will mail you a postcard. So I'm not real sure exactly what that video is. Maybe if you can clarify that a little bit for me, I might be able to give you a little bit more information.
I had a client who actually had not a physical address. He had a boat, and he was able to go onto his boat and somehow activate this video link, and it established where he was physically located.
Oh, that's really interesting, because I'm surprised that they would even allow a boat, because boats tend to move.
Well, it's a boat
so that's
charter.
great news.
Yeah, it's a boat charter business. Or
yeah, okay, fantastic.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right. Sally says, I use this tool all the time, but I don't think I ever entered postcard. Is my profile functioning without the adding of the card? If you go to the back end of your profile, it will let you know if you're verified or not. Years ago, there were a variety of different ways to verify your postcard, to verify your business profile. So it's possible that it was verified in the past using a different way of verification. Google is only doing, for the most part, other than the good example that Diane just told us about her boating clients, but for the most part, they'll be doing the postcard now. Let's see. Next question, I've had issues uploading the correct size photos. What are my tips and tricks for that? I've never heard of people having issues with the correct size photos. What I've had people have issues with is if the photo is really kind of like an advertisement with lots of text on that. I don't know off the top of my head if Google recommends a particular photo size. You can go to Google support for the business profile. Hang on, let me see if I can find that for you. And they may have what the exact photo sizes are. Hang on, let me just do a quick search here. There you go. I'll put in the chat the link to the support for the Google Business Profile. You can check through that and see if they actually have, and I will later on, I will double check to see if there are certain recommendations about photos. All right. Michelle says, quite often I'm logged into my account, and if I navigate to google.com/business, it will try to get me to create a new profile. So I have to search for my business info to get my profile. Is it normal, or is it because I'm not verified? It could be because you're not verified, Michelle. But regardless, what you would do now if you want to get into your account is go to just google.com, like you're searching for whatever you might be searching for, type in your business name, and you should be able to get into the back end here. Okay, back to the review that was removed because it violated the policy. The person on the phone was not able to say what the policy violation was. That's certainly frustrating. I can appreciate the fact that it's incredibly frustrating to lose reviews. I wish I had a clear and easy answer for you. Unfortunately, I don't. All right, anonymous attendee says, I'm a life coach providing online coaching sessions, how to spread my service area globally. In your business profile, that's a tool that's designed for you to be found by people in your local community. So you cannot use your business profile globally. If you do want to grow your business globally, that's where you would want to focus on your website as well as potentially advertising. And growing your business globally, that would be a great conversation also to have with a SCORE mentor. So that way they can kind of guide you into what's the best global aspect for your particular business. Let's see here. Patrick says, can I link my CRS to my Google business profile to use the retargeting process? Probably not, Patrick. Google tends to keep its business profile tool very well defined, and it's difficult to link anything else to that. So chances are you probably cannot. Oh, the CRM. Okay, thank you. Let's see. Marie's got, it looks like a number of you, I'm not going to get into every single question, but it looks like a number of you have frustrations with clients telling you that they wrote reviews and they're not showing up on Google. I will share with you, the reviews is an imperfect process. It's an imperfect process with all technology tools. So, rather than, reading everybody's question who's got the same version of this question, I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of leave it at that so I can get to the rest of the questions that are probably relevant to the good of the group here. All right, Michelle says, how can I set up additional users to manage the accounts? Michelle is working with an SEO company that wants access to the username and password. I would rather set them up for a user. Absolutely, great call, Michelle. For everybody, never give anybody your username and password. You are giving them the keys to your kingdom if you do that. In the business info area, you ought to be able to set up users that way. If it's not in the business info area, because as I said, things changed literally yesterday. So we're just kind of sometimes trying to figure out where the home is for everything that's new. Let me go back to that other slide, just bear with me. Oh, there we go. If you go to this area here, remember, if you go to google.com, search for your business name, you should be presented with these icons. If you see something a little bit different, that's simply because Google does take time to kind of roll things out to everybody. There are three little dots that are kind of at the top of that. Click on that, and that gives you even more options to manage things. And I suspect that updating your users is probably in that area also. All right. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and sign off now because I apologize. I am 5 minutes late. And thank you all for your time here today. And Diane, did you have any closing remarks for the good of the group?
Just would encourage you all to go to minnesota.score.org and sign up for a mentor. I am going to require that this video be seen by every one of my clients, because every one of them can benefit, especially because there are so many new changes, whether they're additions or change in where things are to be found. So this has been, I go to webinars every week, as you know. This probably is my top 1% of all of the webinars that I attend. Thank you so much for doing this. And thank you all for attending and for your wonderful questions and for the kudos. The kudos are coming in. Where can you find a mentor? Manasota.score.org. And there's a button there to ask for a mentor, apply for a mentor. Even if you're out of our district, we're in Manasota, Manatee, Sarasota counties, go to score.org and apply there. Thank you, Sally, for putting our address there, manasota.score.org. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Pamela. This has been outstanding. And for everyone who's left, don't forget, Pamela is back in about 3 weeks with another amazing webinar for us. And again, manasota.score.org, and click on webinars and sign up for it. The link will be in the email that you'll be getting with a link to this video and also Pamela's outstanding slides. So without further ado, thank you so much. It's been amazing. Thank you, Pamela.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye all.